Hey everyone, welcome to Millennium Computers online 5-minute tutorial series. Today's course is going to cover a brand new feature available in the Fast Advanced Options called subtotaling. Now this is a feature that you've been asking for a while, and it is now available in quite a few of the baseline or foundation reports. Let me show you how it works, and I'm going to do today's example from Fast Student Reporting. Now, I've run a quick course summary report, as you can see, and I've just simply used terms this academic year as a function-based filter and available seats of greater than 0. So I'm basically trying to figure out how many courses are still available for registration in the upcoming academic terms. Now, as you can also see, this is a huge amount of records. I've got over 2,300 records for this particular query. Now there's a ton of different things we can do with this report, and we've covered so many advanced options in so many tutorials, but what I really want to do is show you the latest one. Now this is available as of version 4.4, and if you haven't checked out all the new stuff available as of 4.4, that's probably something you want to add to your to-do list. Now to find the advanced options, you're going to simply locate it across your tab strip, or it may also be in your plus more tab. That's a user definable setting, so depending on where you've placed it, you may have to either click on plus more, or it could just be ready for you to click on like this. Now this is my advanced options. It gives me a whole bunch of different things I can do to essentially redefine the look and feel of this foundation report. In other words, I can take one basic foundation report and twist and turn it to accomplish a multitude of different reporting requirements. We can do crosstabs, we can display unique records, or we can use any of the previous options, like turning on or off columns, rearranging columns, applying grouping functions, or sorting columns in ascending or descending order. I want to show you this latest option called subtotaling fields. Now there are 3 fields I can choose to subtotal by. And we do put a little note here saying if you have a ton of data in this particular report and you choose to subtotal by all 3 fields, it could just make the report run a little bit slower. It's not going to do any damage, but just to kind of say, hey, if you have a massive data set of 60,000 records and you want to apply a 3-level sort to that data, it may take a couple minutes to produce the results for you. Let's start simple, and I'm going to add one level or one field to subtotal by. First off, I'm going to choose a subtotal by subject. And I'm going to just rerun that report, but before I do, I want to show you what FAST has done here. As soon as I clicked on subject to include as a subtotal, it's disabled subject on my advanced options grid. I can now no longer group by subject, although it would still let me sort. Let's go ahead now and rerun this report to take a look at what we've done. Okay, now when the report re-executes, you're going to notice right away this report looks quite a bit different than it did originally. It's now subtotaled by or grouped by subject code. Notice the top shows a subject of anthropology and in parentheses 42 records. Let me scroll down a little bit. When I get past anthropology, I now have arts and biology, again with the total record count highlighted. The other thing we've added that I think is pretty interesting is if I hover my cursor over the base bar of each subtotal category, the total record count is going to pop up. And the really cool thing about that is if I happen to have scrolled over to the right-hand side, and of course some of these reports are pretty massive, that detail is going to stay with the row. I can still hover and see the detail pop up. So here's a first level of subtotaling that has now redefined this report and applied subtotals by subject area to this pretty big foundation report. Let me go back to advanced options and apply one more level of subtotals. I'm going to choose from my drop-down list level. So I want to sort first by subject and then by level. So now it's added another color-coded bar, in this case, subject of anthropology, and a level, in this case, of grad of 7 records. Next category, still within anthropology, shows a record count of 35 for a level of undergrad. And if I move on down the line, you'll notice now each of my original subtotal categories, which in this case is subject, is also now broken up by level. Now keep in mind, FAST will enforce the order or sequence of the subtotals that you choose. If I'd wanted to sort first by level and then by subject, I would have to redefine the sequence. Now, as a reminder, you can add up to 3 levels of subtotals, and then all the other advanced options are still enabled. If I wanted to hide a column, I can still do that quickly and easily. All I need to do, go back to my advanced options, take a look at which fields I'd like to hide or suppress, and then re-execute the report. And there we go. My report has now been stripped down just a little bit and refined by removing the columns that are not important to me at this time. And the next step, of course, if I'd like to save this and run it on a regular basis, would be to save it as a pinned report, and I could even then schedule it using the report scheduler. I hope this has been a great introduction to the new and improved FAST in version 4.4 and an introduction to FAST subtotaling. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you for the next tutorial.